Hello everybody. I thought that I would go through a quick little video that talks about draining and cleaning an endless pool. I have an endless pool and I could not find anything really on the internet that went through and explained exactly how to drain and clean the pool correctly. So I'm going to take you on the journey of the first time of cleaning this pool. Okay, here is the endless pool, and it's been well over a year, and I really need to take and empty it and clean it. I'm just 6 weeks post-fracture of my left wrist with the hardware put in there, so I'll see how I can do. I'm going to use my right hand. We have a submersible pump in there, and we just put a hose out the window, and we'll see how long this is going to take. I'm going to pull the filters, see how bad they are. I'm the only person that uses it. But also, there's a lot of cleaning that needs to be done along the outside. You can see, I did clean this side once before, but there is like a lot of buildup of calcium deposits on the outside, up on the edge. It's just, you know, kind of starting to look a little sketchy. Okay, this is the plug that is on the outside of the pool that is actually for draining, and when you pull it all the way out it stops. As you can see, no water comes out, so my husband was going to go ahead and fix this up with the one-way valve, and then he ended up putting a elbow on it with a piece of hose so we could drain it down into the drain that is right there that was built for the pool. The whole idea was to try to get this pool to drain as quickly as we could so I could get to cleaning it, and as it was, we started at around noon, and shortly after, I would say like 12:30, he had that on, and you can see you push it halfway in and that opens it all the way out, closes the water. When you push it halfway in, there's the water. So that's why he put the one-way valve on there. Now he's got the elbow, and you push it in and the water will start to drain out the hose that we had set up for that. So that helped us get this thing drained by 6:30. So that was good timing. There are 4 filters in this pool. It did cost $89 for 2 replacements. They suggest, of course, that you probably change them every 3 months. I went 6 months, I didn't change them, I cleaned them. And when I talked with the fella at the store, what he said is, if your filters are just dirty, take and clean them. You can clean like in between all the little slats. When they're starting to come apart into fray, then they're not any good anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this guard off. And when you go to put it back on, one way to remember is if you look at the bottom, there's a little notch out for you to be able to get down over the top of that edge. So I'm going to hand this to my helper over here, since I'm still recovering with my arm. It's just been 6 weeks. Be careful. There's a little tray that sets over the top of them, and I have not quite figured out what the purpose of that tray is. So, start to turn them. Now, I probably haven't changed these. It's like maybe 7 months, 8 months. I did not clean them or look at them. I've never changed any out since I've owned the tub. Try to get it out. What I do with my bucket? Lots of hair. Somebody's hair. Probably mine. Because I'm the only person that swims in this pool or uses this pool. My husband does, just for jacuzzi, and sometimes these ones, but it's usually just me. Let's see what this shape this one is, because I really want to recycle 2 of them because I only bought 2 new ones. Well, that one doesn't look much better, but they all look cleanable. I don't see much shredding, just a lot of gunk and dirt. And believe it or not, there is a cleaner for these filters, and that's what I'm going to do with 2 of them, and then I'm going to put 2 new ones in. So that's the filter removal. Okay, here I have some cleaner. I got it from the dealer, and I'm going to tell you, if you're going to use something like this, I don't know, it's really strong and it really chokes me, so wear some protection. See, this is how that filter is, and this one seems to be about the best in shade, and I have sprayed it already, so I'm just going to go ahead and brush it and clean it, and then I'm going to spray it with the sprayer quite hard with my sink sprayer here. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. Pretty boring. One new filter. Pop it in. Righty tighty. Stops rather quickly. Older filter that I cleaned. Pop it in. Righty tighty. Screw it in place. Tray. Here we are, as far as lower in that level, getting there pretty good. When that sump pump turns off, then we're going to have to rely on the outside spigot and see how far down that'll take us. But what my plan? Yeah, as you can see, the lowest drain for that external spigot on there, we're already below that, so it can't drain anymore. And I'm, down here standing, and you can see it's up over the top of my feet. I've got the float kind of just rigged so it's up a little bit higher, so I can continue to try to take this down a little bit lower. So I'm going to try a product by diys-by-dar called Off the Wall. I'll see if I can find an Amazon link and link it for you. My husband bought this at a pool and spa shop here at home, so I'll see what I get with it. It's kind of like a gel. I'm just going to put a little bit on the sponge because I don't want to get too many soap suds going in here. Well, we're finally to filling it. I had to charge my phone back up, so when I was charging my phone, I finished getting the rest of the water up off the bottom with a large towel and just soaking it up and squeezing it out in a bucket. And then that was a good chance for me also then to take a rag and clean up the rest of the dirt and a little bit of sand that was down there on the bottom. So now we are going to go ahead and we're going to start to fill this. I'm not sure what time is it. It is 6 o'clock, 6 p.m., December 26th, So we'll see how long this takes to fill. Once the water is at an appropriate level, then I'll go ahead and hit the breakers to turn it back on, which was one of the parts that I forgot to tell you in the beginning is shut your machine down, throw your breakers so no power's going to it, and when I get all done here, I guess I'll critique how this went and things that I would do or I wouldn't do again. Here's the critique. It took from probably around 12 noon until 6:30 to get all the water emptied out. And we're talking 1,635 gallons of water. And putting the spigot on outside of the tub, the one that you're supposed to use, did help speed that up. But you can see it's kind of difficult to use, and you can't drain it all the way down to the bottom anyway. So you have to use a pump inside there. So the combination of the two did empty it out for me rather quickly. It took from 6:30 until maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock to add more, my water all back in. Of course, it only will heat at 1 degree an hour. And I unfortunately swim at 97 degrees because of my health conditions. So it took another day for the pool to warm up enough for me to get back in there and swim. So remember to turn your breaker off to your machine before you start draining it. And the cleaner that I used was really nice. It was a low suds cleaner, so you didn't have all the suds going on when I was wiping it, when I was spraying it with the hose. You just didn't have it. So that stuff was pretty great to use. And I don't think I used a quarter of the container of it on this whole tub, including the outside. Now, coming up here, I'm going to show you some of my husband's bloopers. I love him dearly, and I'm glad that he came out to help me, but he is so funny. That's why we get along so good. We both have a really good sense of humor. Here they come.
Teflon tape.
For purpose of?
Sealing, and won't seize it up. Plastic on plastic.
Are you going to leave that on there?
I might, yeah. If this will go on now. Now it's being a bitch.
Too much tape?
Oh, I had it wrong. I had it threaded wrong. See, yeah, I put the Teflon tape on back aspers. I always do that wrong. I always do that wrong.
How can you put it on back?
You do.
What the hell?
Trust me, I just did. 50, 50, 90.
You mean it's got a right side and a wrong side?
You gotta do it opposite of the way you're threading it on, kind of. So you don't unthread the Teflon tape, which is what I was doing. So you're gonna have to edit this so I don't look like a total idiot.
Better you than me.
Yeah. Okay, so. So now, watch when I go in, it's going to want to drain. See? So now that I got that on, I'll put this on here.
So, like, what is the midway point? Is like the
like
choke off point, or?
It's like you want to pull it out of like a full inch. You want to get this out like a full inch. That's the stop point. And then when you go in, so watch, I'll turn this open and watch what happens when I push it in. And then these suck. I hate these things. They never ever work for me, ever.